Your kid can't find their water bottle. 8 seconds of rising panic, like it contains insulin instead of lukewarm strawberry water. You find it, hand it over. That felt like love. It was also a lesson. Every time you do that, water bottle, homework meltdown, friendship wobble, your kid files the same quiet rule. The world is the kind of place that requires rescue, which means the world, without you in it, is dangerous. That wasn't support. That was rescue. 6 things loving parents do, including one that feels like support, that decide whether your kid builds the belief they can handle life or learns they're not the ones who handles things. 1. The moment your hand moved before you decided to. Your kid's trying to open a packet of something, the kind that requires exactly 3 more seconds of effort. You've already taken it and opened it before you registered you were going to. You didn't decide to do it. Your hand just went. Your hand apparently has strong opinions about snack access, or they're writing something. You can hear the specific silence of someone who stopped typing but hasn't asked for help yet. You're already standing behind them reading the screen. Or your kid's hovering at the edge of a birthday party group, scanning, almost stepping forward. That terrifying 3-second silence where they might have figured it out, and you've already walked over and introduced them before they had a chance. Which felt kind, which was kind, which happened about 15 seconds too early. Or they lose a board game and you're immediately explaining why the rules weren't fair, why the other kid got lucky, why this particular version doesn't really count, protecting them from a feeling they hadn't even finished having yet. Modern parenting is sometimes just aggressively preventing vibes. The problem isn't that you're doing it. The problem is the part that gets skipped every time you do. Every time discomfort arrives and disappears before they resolve it themselves, their brain logs an incomplete rep. Like stopping halfway through every rep and wondering why the muscle never showed up. The difficulty never resolves through them. What gets filed instead is a quiet rule. Hard things get handled by someone else. My job is to signal that I'm struggling until the right person shows up. That is not a dramatic child. That's a child doing exactly what the evidence taught them. The waiting room is fully furnished. Snacks, Wi-Fi, tiny little bell to ring for emotional customer service. They're just sitting in it, waiting for you. And the longer they sit there, the less they learn to stand up in the next situation. 2. The thing everyone gets completely backwards. Most people assume anxious kids are anxious because life hit them too hard. The research keeps finding the opposite, which is rude because that would have made this emotionally simpler. Anxiety accumulates from avoided difficulty, from discomfort arriving and disappearing so consistently that the brain never gets to update what it believes it can handle. Every time a kid works through something uncomfortable, the frustrating task, the awkward group situation, the homework problem they almost abandoned, their brain files new data. Survive that, can probably survive the next version. The forecast shifts. When discomfort keeps getting removed before that update happens, the forecast stays frozen. The bar for, I cannot cope with this, stays exactly where it was age 7. The world, unfortunately, does not stay at age 7 with it. Now, suddenly they're 19 and afraid to call the dentist. So the gap grows. Quietly at first, then all at once. By 15, a mildly difficult conversation feels genuinely overwhelming. By 22, a tense email from their manager registers somewhere between, this is really hard, and something has gone wrong with me specifically. Now they're rereading, can we chat tomorrow? Like it's a hostage note. This is where it stops being a behavior pattern and starts being about who they quietly decide they are. 3. The quiet decision that runs everything after. Kids who are consistently rescued from difficulty don't just become avoidant. They draw a specific conclusion, a quiet one. and it runs much deeper than "I don't enjoy hard things." When struggle has been consistently absent, the first time something genuinely hard arrives and doesn't disappear, it doesn't land as "this is difficult, I'll work through it." It lands as "this shouldn't still be here, which means something's wrong with me." You can actually watch the moment happen sometimes. The exact second they stop wrestling with the thing and start wrestling with themselves. Kids from high support, low friction environments don't just struggle more. They interpret struggle as a verdict about who they are. The distance between "this is hard" and "I'm someone who can't do this" is, practically speaking, the distance between trying again and quietly deciding not to. Which explains the guitar that lasted 6 weeks, the sport they dropped the moment they stopped being the best, the class they exited before the first test came back, downloaded Duolingo, did Spanish for 9 minutes, retired undefeated, the "I don't care about it anyway" delivered with the very specific energy of someone who cares enormously and has decided it's safer not to show that. They ran the math. The risk of trying and visibly failing in front of people who love them felt higher than the cost of just not trying. Here's the part that makes it stick. The more loved they are, the higher the stakes feel when they sense they're about to disappoint you. Because now failure doesn't just feel painful, it feels relational. The rescue didn't just remove the difficulty, it quietly raised the cost of being seen struggling. So they started hiding the struggling too. The most loved kid in the room is sometimes the one most convinced they can't handle things because nobody let them find out otherwise. 4. Why the most loving generation made the most anxious kids. Here's what makes this genuinely hard to sit with. It's not just your house. We are raising the most intentionally parented generation in recorded history. We validate emotions now. We discuss attachment styles at soccer practice. Some toddlers have better conflict resolution language than divorced accountants. We apologize to our children. Some of us have preemptively apologized for things that haven't happened yet, just to stay ahead of it. And we produced the most anxious cohort on record. Researcher Jean Twenge tracked mental health data across over 500,000 adolescents, and around 2012, the line graphs that had always moved gradually went vertical. Depression, anxiety, loneliness, all of it at once. Turns out humans do not become emotionally indestructible through excessive cushioning, annoying design flaw. Not when life got harder, precisely when it got softer. When cushioning appeared everywhere simultaneously, and parents started solving things kids were half a second away from solving themselves, which is convenient data if your parenting philosophy requires 12 color-coded calendars and a feelings chart. The love was real. The cushioning was real. They just turned out not to be the same thing. Security isn't the absence of hard things. It's knowing you can move through them because you already have. That knowledge builds one way only, with their hands doing it, not yours. 5. What it looks like when nobody can see it anymore. The adult version doesn't look fragile from the outside. Often, it looks quite the opposite. Someone genuinely competent at everything, except the feeling of being bad at something new. Quits pottery after one crooked bowl, abandons the gym after 3 awkward visits. Researching became safer than beginning. Watches 12 hours of tutorials before trying anything. Exits relationships when they stop being easy. Changes jobs 4 times in 5 years, each time with a convincing reason attached. Nobody noticed the pattern, including them. Or it's quieter than that. A completely stable, objectively fine life, but one mildly ambiguous text from their manager derails the entire afternoon. Asking for help at work feels like a confession. Failing at something small in front of people they respect sends them into a spiral that looks disproportionate because the thing that just happened isn't actually the thing they're reacting to. They're reacting to everything that trained them across hundreds of small moments to believe that struggling in front of people who matter means losing them. A meta-analysis of 53 separate studies found that over-involved parenting was consistently linked to lower self-efficacy and higher anxiety in adulthood. Not just general mood, actual confidence in their ability to handle things when things get hard, which is brutal news for parents whose love language is solving things at high speed. The most loved kids sometimes arrive at adulthood with the least confidence in their own competence, spending years trying to understand why, when they had every advantage. The thing you're actually building. Nobody is suggesting you stand across the room with a clipboard while your kid cries at a puzzle. The change is smaller than that. I've done the thing described in Section 1. Hand already moving before my kid asked, over their shoulder before they called. I know the reflex. It feels like love because it is love. That's what makes it hard to catch. Feel the urge to reach across and turn the puzzle piece. Notice it, then stay with it for one beat longer than comfortable. You will feel your entire body trying to lunge toward the problem like a Labrador hearing a smoke alarm. That gap, that small, slightly excruciating pause is where capability gets built. It'll feel wrong the first few times, or when they're frustrated and you're about to fix it, ask instead, what do you think you could try first? They may immediately say, I don't know. That's fine. The pause still matters. Just to buy them 30 seconds of their own thinking before yours arrives. 30 seconds compounded across 10 years is the difference between an adult who trusts themselves and one who doesn't know yet what they can do. Your presence is still the entire point. Stay right there. Close enough that surviving feels possible, close enough that they know someone they love is watching them do hard things, just without being the one doing the hard things for them. The kid who's been through hard things and came out the other side has a floor. When life removes every soft landing, and it does, for everyone, they land on something solid. Something built from every moment you stayed close without stepping in. Build them the floor. Let them feel the fall while you're still right there. If this video landed, watch, your kid decided you didn't need to know. This is how it starts. That video's where it goes.